Okay, it is going. And we are live. Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this. So, Kira, you can, I think, track how many people are joining.
I think so. Yes.
Okay.
Let's take a look. Yeah. No, I'm so excited for this. This is so great.
That is amazing. So, we can maybe take the first minutes to make a little welcoming introduction to everyone. First of all, thank you so much for joining. We really appreciate your presence and your interest. We got a lot of feedbacks, all saying and thanking us, by the way, for bringing this conversation up. But first of all, introductions. So I would like to introduce actually my co-host, the amazing Kira Troilo, a founder of Art and Soul Consulting, and I'm so pleased to be here with her because we discovered our common passion and mission, and then we put this together. And yes, so Kira will just briefly introduce my co-founder Yan,
Yes.
who's gonna help me be super precise and on point, especially when Q&A comes in. But I'm super thrilled, Kira. I'm so excited about this.
Me too. Yes, I'm so excited. And I also would like to introduce behind the scenes my amazing colleague, Ari Welch, who you'll see in the comments and kind of helping run things behind the scenes. So she's here. So say hey to Ari. She's not on screen, but she's here.
Thank you,
And yeah,
Ari.
we are just we've been so excited for this conversation. It's just long overdue. And I think we're the right people to have it at this moment in time. And I can see right now we've got 16 people with us currently. So yeah, and growing. So yeah, thank you so much for everyone joining us. This is going to be a really great 45 minutes.
Absolutely. So, Kira, can I say that everything actually started because of elephants?
Yes.
So when we discovered that, it was very funny because I have a background as wildlife conservation biologist, and I did work with elephant seals of the Falkland Islands. And they basically never left me, these elephants, and they came back again in the form of elephants in the room when I was talking to Kira, right?
Yeah.
So we discovered they're still here. And but Kira, apart from the joke, it's I think your work is amazing. I have so much, respect, and I think it's so important. So we decided actually to start with your part of expertise, because a lot of stuff is happening right now in the arts organization, especially, right?
Mm.
And
Yes.
most of all, I would say we want to address something very peculiar, which and the specific, which is the audience decline. But before we go to that, I know you have important information for us, especially for the teams.
Yes, I do. And I think when we talk about elephants in the arts, it's like which one are we going to talk about? We at Art and Soul, we started talking about certain elephants, and then we realized very quickly that there's just so many things that if we don't talk about them while we are creating this bold art, and we're all mission driven and wanting to make a difference, that we can't surface the actual truths. If we can't talk about the hard things and get aligned and create our sandbox or container for us to work within, we won't be able to move fast. So when you talk about audience decline and the state of the arts right now, I think we have to first talk about our teams. And in this context with Artalize, and I'm so excited for folks to see more about what you do, I think we have to start by working with the elephant of AI. I have been involved in a learning circle with someone I think is here, the amazing Zena Collins, for 10 months now, and I've been learning a ton. But when I go back to my work in theater and the arts, I'm seeing a lot of people using ChatGPT in secret and not telling anyone. And if that's you, I see you, and you're not alone. Seeing people who are afraid of the impact on the climate. I'm seeing people who want to use these tools but can't bring their teams along with them. So yeah, Paola, to start, I would love to kind of ask you to act like one of these leaders that I work with, and just ask you a few questions to see how you might be working with your team right now before Artelize even comes into the question.
Absolutely. Bring it on, Kira.
All right, let's do it. So yeah, Paola, so you're running a very wonderful theater, I'm going to say, that is very mission driven, but maybe at a crossroads right now of how to deal with these declining numbers and the funding, right?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yes. So I'm sure you're very busy and you have no time for yourself. Do you have any idea about what your team's creative bandwidth is? You think you know how they're feeling
You
right now?
want me to be honest? I guess you do, right? So
I
I
do.
think you really pictured it really well. And by the way, this is not just a silly role play, but it's really also confirming what we see when we
Mhm.
talk daily in arts organizations. So what we see is overwhelmed teams and leaders that try to make the best out of the time they have, the resources they have, and the pressure, unfortunately, they have to carry on their shoulders. So for me, let's say we have the Artemis Orchestra. That's fictional, but let's call it this way. I just finished working like crazy on grants to get some funding because we all know the situation. By the way, common both to US and also Europe.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, really tough. And the team, I quite frankly do not have any idea of the creative bandwidth of my team right now. I'm just focused on finishing this season, trying
Mhm.
to optimize sales as much as possible.
Yes, of course. How could you not, right? Yeah. What about what your team is carrying with them from outside of work? We call this at Art and Soul the backpack. So, how heavy do you think folks' backpacks are coming in to work at Artelize Orchestra?
So, for example, if I think about my colleagues, I believe they are really trying, genuinely trying to do their best. I don't know what's in that backpack. I have a vague feeling, though, that the atmosphere sometimes gets heavy. Sometimes it's
Mm,
tough to agree on things. I have a feeling of slowness, like we could be much
mm,
efficient and rather it's a bit more difficult. I mean, everybody is trying their best, but
yeah.
sometimes it feels like we're stuck somewhere.
Yes. Yep. I completely hear that. Yeah. And lastly, knowing there's a lot I could ask you, but how, when you've rolled out something new recently, maybe a new tool or software with your team, how comfortable do you think your team feels to disagree or raise a red flag?
Okay, we are Scandinavian in Artelize, so we try to include and listen to everybody. And
Yes.
we try to have a very good culture. But um, I would say, as you know, the head of the Artelize Orchestra, I believe it's possible. I mean, they're not scared that something really bad would happen, but I wonder. I couldn't really say 100%. Oh yes, of course, everybody can say, and it depends also on the personality, on yeah, people's personalities.
That's right.
But again, it's a hard question to answer precisely. So I don't have a clear picture if you ask me about that.
Yeah. Right. And I wonder, it's just if you think about your last meeting, your last team meeting, where you introduced the product, were people nodding politely? Was there a general sense of fineness, or did people raise their hand and ask, where feedback could go, or clarify, what's okay, what's not okay? Or was it mostly just like polite head nods and you moved on?
I would say half and half. Like I could see some nodding and maybe some people that I know maybe process also information a bit. They thinkers, so
Yeah.
they sort of try to understand first and then. But also, I would point out several things because it's all based on feelings, Kira. Honestly, I
Yes.
don't have exactly the a sort of temperature, an exact temperature of that. So some people seem like they have got it and they're following. Some others, I wouldn't be able to say they're really following, and some other I would be having a big question mark. I would need probably to double check
Right.
if there is exactly alignment or clarity also, so that the sort of a clean interaction can happen because everybody understood.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And that's beautiful. And I think that, that takes me to when you said it's a lot of feelings. It's a lot of, I'm not quite sure. Is it vibes? It can be hard to quantify what that means, and then what that costs. So what Art and Soul has kind of come up with is, there is a tax, an actual tax that we believe you pay as a leader when your team can't speak the truth or what they believe the truth is, right? So that tax really is about, uh, are there people on your team who are looking for other jobs because they're not happy, but they don't feel like they can say, or they don't feel like it's going to change, or that their voice is going to matter enough, right? What about the rework that the marketing department has done because they thought they understood what the task was, and then someone came in at the last minute, and so we call this the silence tax, and we think that it actually is it takes things out of hearts and minds and puts things into numbers and data, right? Um, so yes, just a spoiler alert for everyone following along with us. We're going to offer a silence tax audit to you all for free, so you can take this after the webinar if you'd like. This is going to be available for everyone to do. But essentially, what I'd like to ask you now, Paola, is a few questions to figure out what your silence tax is, if that works for you.
I love the concept. It's brilliant.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Let's find out. Yeah. So how many people are on your team?
So at the moment we're 11.
11. Okay. So you have 10 to 20 people. And I'll just name too that in this audit that we have, we're basing it on a salary of each person, like $80,000 general. And then we are also, we're assuming what the cost of rework is based on real data and research of like how much does it cost when you lose this many hours to silence, right? How often would you say your team's work gets reopened after someone thought it was done?
Surprisingly, that happens quite frequently, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I need to fit a
Yeah.
range, but
Yeah, we
but
have a 1 to 5 on the back end, but I'm going to translate what you
okay,
say.
yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Paola, you reopen my work every single time.
Yeah, sorry, Jan. I didn't want to be that detailed, but he said it, so that's.
He said it. He said it. Yep. How about, let's see, how often do decisions made in meetings get quietly undone or relitigated afterwards?
That too. That happens quite frequently, I must say.
Quite a bit. Okay. How often, this speaks to your vibes, Paola, how often would you describe your team performing alignment versus actually building it? So how often, do you think your team is nodding along, but maybe they're processing and not telling you what they really think?
So sorry, how often? This is the question.
Yeah, often, not often.
The idea, yes. Well, the feeling. So it really depends, of course. So in the management, I would say we try to really be aligned as much as possible. So we really work. It takes more work in the prior making a decision. So to try to optimize timing, I would say. With the rest of the team, it's the opposite. it's like it's like you have a decision, you think you're going, and then suddenly there are a lot of things that you understand as a leader that were not clear,
Hmm.
and maybe people were nodding along, and so you thought in your head that you were just going full speed, but then you had to I had to rethink my pace, the whole pace actually, not just mine, but the
Right.
company's pace, and get back.
That's right. That's right.
Mm.
Okay. And then last one for now. There's a few more questions, but I'm just going to select few. Have you had a team member leave recently the orchestra?
Let's say no, but we will say yes for the fictional.
Yes,
I mean,
this is our
not in
totally.
real, but for the Artalize Orchestra, actually, yes, experienced the loss of a team, and that actually caused great disruption because it was
Hmm.
a little bit surprising,
Okay.
a little bit surprising actually. I didn't think it would be that drastic, and then it was of course then all the problems in trying to replace, to do that part of a job, and trying to make up for, because we didn't, it wasn't a streamlined process obviously, and
That's right.
serene process, so it created a lot of I would say that's pretty traumatic, if you ask me.
Yes, right. And yes, you're not alone there. Yes, and you answered the question really, which my question is, when they left, did you know they were leaving, and how early before? Right. So we're gonna say like no one knew. You found out why they left after they left, which is very common, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm just now I'm calculating your silence tax, Paola, and then I will read it to you. Um, and that will be a very big elephant that we can then go with. I think we
Yen,
can.
you need to prepare the wallet. Yen,
Yeah, you ready?
you're
Yeah,
gonna pay that. I'm
yeah.
not paying it.
So yeah, based on your answers, Paola, you're paying about a $2 million silence tax right now. This is calculated based on the attrition and replacement cost. So it's the cost of losing people with who had a silent departure. So that could be 2 times the salary to actually replace that person, and the work it takes to get a new person up, especially when the reason the person left wasn't surfaced. So you're not just dealing with the employee that left, you're dealing with the resentment and the stress and the brokenness that you're just finding out about as they leave. So that is a huge part of your cost there. It's about $1 million. Rework and revision loops, you're paying, like 150K for projects that get reworked and reworked and reworked because you weren't aligned. And then there's the misaligned effort. So the things that aren't said or aren't said early enough, right? So what this tells me about your team is that if we were to drop AI, this huge elephant, right, that people feel all different kinds of ways about, that maybe no one's even had an actual training or like an understanding of what's okay to try, what's not okay to try. You can imagine how expensive that is for a team who's not aligned yet. That is going to either try this or not try this. There are consequences kind of to not fully understanding where you're at. So that's my quick analysis of what's going on with the teams before we even introduce the tool, right?
It is absolutely eye-opening, I would say, and it is so important because we work a little bit further down the line, and we can just to, um, double confirm what you're saying. Is that we see that when there's no alignment, then the tool is underused. So you're also not tapping into the full potential because exactly you're missing parts of it because
Right.
you have people that are behind or just not included.
That's
And
right.
so we believe in this approach so much because then it also leads to our to our exactly part of the story, which is exactly introducing innovative tools.
That's right.
And
So
and I yeah, and
go
now
ahead.
being under your tough management, Paula, I no, if we keep the role here, no, I and I think it's thought provoking that a team of 11 people could actually be having to raise $2 million less every year if they were just perfectly aligned, so, it's a massive, massive impact. And you can see, the virtuous loop just going through the roof if you are able to get that in order and not have to always change things because Paula tell you to. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. It's massive. And I think it's been groundbreaking for us to put dollars, real dollars to it, because I think people think, oh, we don't have time for that conversation. Like you heard Paola say, like, I'm just trying to get these budgets done and this grant written, but I think people, and I'm speaking for myself as well, you can get so overwhelmed with, we have to make the sale. We have to. It's not that you have to have this like 6-month course, with AI or go through this massive thing. It really sometimes starts just with one real conversation, and it just has to be done with care and done well, asking the right things, and then creating that sandbox so that you can start telling the truth earlier. That's it. It's not easy, but it is that simple.
I love the concept of the sandbox. It reminds me these playgrounds in Scandinavia where all kids are allowed to go crazy and nuts, and they are allowed to fail and get hurt and, but they grow up, and actually adults intervene very little because they leave it to the kids, and very often the kids sort it out by themselves. So, and as adults, we have sort of forgotten the space to fail. Obviously, we cannot fail repetitively because we have responsibilities,
Right.
but it's good to have space that is dedicated to that. So the sandbox is an amazing concept. We use it, Jan, I think you can confirm that. Come on, we use that all the time. We try to test things and work with this new tool especially, but we have to be allowed to fail in let's say in a protected way and in a way that is meaningful, so that we can convert the so-called failures into new opportunities and bettering, right, of our arts organization. So, yes. Kira, now should we switch? Do you want to be my arts organization?
I do. I'm jealous. I want to do some acting. That's where I come from. So yes, I'd love to be your arts organization. Yes, let's do it.
That's fantastic. So I'm going to try to actually share my screen and just to bring up our tax. We called it the blind spot tax, because I think that is such a, and by the way, this is something you brought up, and I think it was extremely inspiring. And I think it really brings up the practical relevance of this kind of analysis, right?
Yes.
So let me see if I can get to the right.
Yes. While you're doing that, I'll point out that we've got a QR code just hanging out in the corner. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later.
Absolutely.
But it is a webinar only offer that we're really excited about, that bundles the power of Art and Soul and Artelize together. So just we'll throw that there, and then I see Paola's text here that we can start to take a look at.
Yeah, so this is also going to be shared as a complementary tool to assess your arts organization. So here I will walk you through this. It's a few questions. And first of all, practical, because we love this concept of quantifying, like how with hard numbers, that means when you're not, you don't access some resources.
Yes, yes.
So I will ask you, first of all, what's your average ticket price in your arts organization?
We have about $70 tickets is about the average.
Yes. And roughly, do you know how many unique ticket buyers do you have per season?
Ooh.
I know it's a tough one, but roughly.
That's a tricky one. And tell me if I'm way off base, but is it like...
Maybe, Jan, you can help us with
a few thousand, maybe?
Yeah, I think, Kira, last you checked, it was 7,000.
7,000. Thank you, Jan. It was good to have you as a partial consultant on my last job.
Okay. Now we set up a little bit the size of your revenue. Let's say it's based on exactly newcomers specifically.
Okay.
And then I will ask you a few questions. So after someone attends for the first time, how confident are you they'll come back on a scale from 1 to 5?
Yeah, I'm not not very confident. Sometimes people come for the first time, it's for a very specific thing, or just to see a friend's show or, something like that.
Right.
So I'll say 2.
2.
Yeah.
Very nice. How fast do you reach a first-time attendee after their visit?
I think I know that it's important, but I don't know how great we are at specifically, targeting them. So maybe I'll say a 3.
3, right.
Because we follow up with everyone, but maybe not them specifically.
Absolutely. That's very common. And does a first timer receive, exactly, that's the next question, different messaging from a 10-year subscriber specifically? Actually, those are the 2 extremes.
No, we send, the same newsletter and messaging to our whole audience.
Okay, so that would mean a 1.
Yeah.
So do you know what every competitor within 100 miles in programming on your events is programming on your events data? So what are the overlapping events, basically?
Yeah. We have a few friends in the space, so we kind of are aware of what they're doing, but not within 100 miles, no. So maybe I'll give myself a 3 optimistically for that.
Absolutely. And lastly, can marketing, development, and programming all see the same audience data?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they can all see exactly the same thing.
Right. So are you in the middle? Because here we have 1, it would be completely separate systems, no shared view. And then, of course, a single place where everybody can access the nicely organized data.
Maybe a 3, because everyone maybe has access, but it's not all together in the same dashboard.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. So we're now calculating the loss. So the blind spot tax that you're paying by not knowing, basically this kind of not being clear on all aspects. Okay. And those are just some of the most common. And we can see that you have a revenue, the revenue that is lost from first timers who never return is very high. And this is very common in the industry. And that's exactly what we try to address as a first thing. You tendentially miss the 48-hour window excitement, because you should reach out to them right after the show. And research shows us that if you don't do that, then basically it's a massive drop in engagement. And after a week, it's basically gone. So this is extremely important. And then the same message penalty, obviously, one size fits all. It's not sustainable anymore, especially now with the tools. It's so important to customize the message, and that is extremely important. So you see it's 16% of the total loss that actually it's generating. And then the competitive collision seems like something you wouldn't be necessarily interested, but it's so important. And now it is possible, because sometimes you find ways you can remarket your event. Maybe you don't need to change the date if you're too late in programming, and that's exactly where you need to go. But you can change the way, the value proposition you have for that event. So basically, what experience you can sell it, right?
Yes.
By knowing what the others are doing. And so it's a beautiful concept. I love it in particular because it turns competitors into allies somehow. So you're sort of enhancing a storytelling in terms of experience that makes sense. And maybe you cater audiences from other arts organizations as well. And so you sort of create a community. It's also community building in a certain sense, right? So that is it. I think this is very much underestimated, but it's pretty crucial.
Yes, I want to step out of my role for a second and just validate that what Ari and I see a lot is people operating in these silos where, it's kind of like we're just doing our thing in our lane, and not in a mean way. But it feels very competitive, as opposed to like what you're showing me, the dollar amount actually that I'm losing by not collaborating and coordinating with my colleagues that are close by.
Absolutely. That's exactly the point. And data fragmentation, obviously, it's a big obstacle to all this sort of massive overview and awareness, because
Yes.
then it links actually directly to what you exposed in the very at the beginning of this session. This alignment also comes by not being aware of what is happening. But when
Mm.
everybody, we see, at least our customers, when everybody in the team knows what's going on, everybody can finally come together and work for the same goal. So
Yes.
everything is easier, faster, and empowered. It really is a game changer. So to have an infrastructure that allows you as an arts leader and your team to the same clean information, that it doesn't require spreadsheets, data analysis, and then, oh, where was that report, or what did you say, or maybe
Oh,
we should ask somebody from somewhere else. When finally you can have all these insights at your fingertips, literally, it goes, I think, without saying that you can be so much more efficient, right?
yes. Yes, absolutely. I think, that brings us back to the conversation of AI, right? Like, how does AI play into this? And what does it mean to get aligned there? And how fast can you move when you know what actually is already among your team when you bring up a tool like Artelize,
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And that's why we decided to build also this webinar, because our tool was built with this in mind. We could sort of understand the fragmentation of the tools and the system utilized, but also the fragmentation in the team. And
Right.
you are the best people to address that. And what we would like to actually highlight is that, so this analysis here was based exclusively on newcomers. And of course, imagine when you also have the same insights for all the other segments, subscribers, donors. So you start really unlocking so much more revenue as well. I mean, it really is numbers. At the end of the day, it's very practical. Okay.
Yes, and to me, maybe this is out of turn, not out of turn, but out of order. But it sounds like with these insights, I can connect with people much better. Like, I can really focus on how do I build bridges and connections in the community with my allies and colleagues. It's kind of like can clear the fog a bit so that I can be more intentional with my in-person time.
Totally. And this brings me to the next part of the conversation. So, Artelize AI can help reveal the hidden audiences outside your very close community. Like we said, for example, having this, nurturing this relationship with, let's say, competitor allies, turn competitors into allies, and having this stronger outside community. But then Jan actually is about to give us a little presentation, a little story, I would say, about something that is immediately available to us in the arts organization, which is a hidden audience inside our community. So
Wow.
what lingers between the numbers we don't have because of this fragmentation and this lack of clear view. So
Wow.
maybe you can amaze us with that.
Yes. And before
Yeah,
I
I can.
also just want to invite folks to put any questions you have in the
Oh
comments,
yeah.
and we'll have hopefully time to address those.
Yes, absolutely. So I'll share my screen also and talk about the audiences hiding between your segments. Yes, it's actually a pretty cool concept that is, and the coolest bit is that it's not really a concept. It's something that's been there always. And that's exactly what AI can do, help us do things that maybe we even knew. We had a hunch that something was going on, but again, then we come back, oh, I need to write the grant. I need to pick up my kids. I need to do stuff. I cannot also find the hidden audiences between my segments. So this is really a method we that you can actually do on your own, but again, without AI, it just becomes extremely cumbersome. So it's not like it's not rocket science in that sense. And we always like to do things that are that are actually understandable, so you can see the logic in them. It's not just AI magically conjuring up stuff, because that's actually hard to use for anything. So these hidden audiences, you can, if you look at this kind of customer journey from a newcomer until a reactivated person. So a newcomer we call it a new returner. Those are those people who came back for the first time, and that is exactly that important inflection point Paula just mentioned. Then they become engaged, meaning they are engaged, it's sort of obvious. Loyal in our definition means they have attended 3 seasons in a row. Then then you're pretty loyal, because the likelihood that you'll also come for the 4th season is really high. Some people do fall out, then they cool or they lapse, but then you can reactivate them, and then they are also a reactivated audience. It's in these gaps that the hidden audience, this is states of a person. I'm a newcomer. I just came to Kira's amazing arts organization and I loved it. Bye-bye, have a nice day. But there's this gap here, a gap here that we need to work on. And this may be one of the most obvious gaps, and that is maybe the most awareness about, that we need to have a process for how we get them to come back. But there are all these gaps, and it's actually owning these gaps and owning these transitions that really drives a new result. And I'm coming back to, I'm having a real customer use case at the end of this 7-minute presentation, I think we have. And there I'll show you, we again show you the monetary value of this compared to actually the total revenue of the organization. So again, there's sort of a method, give it a name in your organization. Say, what is this? What is this transition? And for instance, the second visit gap, the habit formation gap, the invisible pool, all those lapsed. We know from all our customers that the lapsed pool is something that is totally overlooked, because it sort of becomes last priority, although, and I'll show you that in the real numbers, it's maybe where the most revenue lies hidden. And again, we will share this, I think, let's also do that so you can read all the text here, because I would go a little fast. So again, it's a market you already own, but you haven't sold to them yet. Again, you have sold to them before. And then there are 4 ways to work with this. So first, you name the transition. I have mentioned that. Then you size the denominator. That sounds very mathematical, but it's just the simple math is, if you have a 9%, I can show you here, a 9% newcomer conversion rate with 400 first-timers, then there's 364 people who didn't return. That's that hidden audience that you can convert. It's most obvious when we talk about newcomers, but it happens in all these transitions. And again, I come back to a concrete example. Then you look at those who did come through. Then you sit down and maybe in a well-aligned team, you actually discuss, based on some data, why did these guys convert? Okay, we actually sent them an email the next day. We also did a little survey, an outcome-based survey before they came. So we did things that we didn't used to do, and it doesn't have to be scientific in that sense. You quickly just get a sense. Okay, we did something different. It seems to work. Let's make sure we have signed someone in the team to really do this all the time, because we can see the big value of it. And then you form your hypothesis, and you keep working on those. Again, this is easy conceptually speaking about. You need to be really well aligned. You need to have some tools in place to be able to do it. And here are just some value signals you can look for in your own data to figure out where there's really something to come for. If you have some large year-on-year drops in some segment conversion rates, then there's probably something you stopped doing, maybe without knowing it. Maybe someone left the team. They were actually managing something that nobody ever realized. Again, that's not good. But if you see those drops, there's a lot of potential. You can gain that back because you're already performing well. Revenue versus headcount mismatch. Is there someone outlier behavior? Are they buying expensive seats, etc.? Now I'm using too much time. I'll jump to the fun stuff. So this is this formula to size the opportunity. So now I will jump down to the concrete. So this is from one of our customers in the United States on the East Coast.
So is it my theater?
Yes, it's the Kira. It's the Kira Theater, the Troilo Stage, as it has been renamed recently. Yes, yes. But it's actually coming from a real customer. So the fun thing is just looking at the segments. They get roughly 9% newcomers come back within 12 months. They get 18% of new returners to be engaged. They get 30% to be loyal customers. So it just proves the old thesis that once you get people engaged, it's a lot easier to get them to be even more engaged. But the reactivated, I think that's interesting. 30% of those who had stopped coming for 2 years come back. So then you can size the opportunity, and I don't have a revenue total, but if we do the quick math, it's sort of $70,000 that they are making on their returning audience in a 12-month period. This organization. So the second visit window, that's 9,000 extra from increasing it 5 percentage points. That's a very conservative thing. If you start focusing on that, you will certainly reach that. 3,000 on this, 2,000. It's 13,000 on a basis of 70,000. That's a very, very significant gain from doing actually very little. Again, if you have the data. So this is really, again, like all those tax rates we have been talking about, but this is not tax. This is revenue. Yes. So I know Paula, and we always talk about Scandinavia. We have a lot of tax, but this is money in the this is money in the pocket, not any tax. Yes.
Yeah.
So I think it's maybe pretty obvious what this is about. There's a checklist of how to work with it, but there are these people between the labels, and I think there are actually people in the industry criticizing dashboards for being. It doesn't help knowing how the world looks, and there's some truth to it. You need to know how you improve the numbers in the dashboard. Just having a dashboard, that's easy. You can take some numbers and run them through something and say, build me a dashboard. But it's that knowledge about the movement between segments. So Kira, I hope you will be working with this, and I know you are working on aligning your team, because that's the first step. Because then you can use some Artelize AI to do all this analysis, so you can just sit and discuss the strategic elements and execute on it. Yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
Easy breezy. Yes. No, thank you so much, Dan. That is really amazing. We have a question in the chat that I want to pop up. Stephen, hi Stephen, says, for small orgs that are cash strapped to begin with, and with team sizes that are smaller than they ought to be, which is across the board, I think, I found the teams will say, I don't have enough time, before they say, we don't have enough money. Yeah, and then he goes on to ask, is there a way to quantify the silence tax in terms of time? And that's excellent feedback. Yes, I will put that together, because it is massive. I just want to, like, a quick story, and I want to see if it resonates with you. But I often go in and say, I want to come in and have this conversation to get your team aligned before you go on and work on this project, because it will save you hours and hours later. And I often meet resistance, and it's not mean resistance. It's like, I don't have time as a leader, like, I have to do this. How am I going to die? I can't give my team 30 minutes to get on the same page. And like, my argument is always like, give me 30 minutes and I will save you hours and hours of tech week blowups and feedback that came too late, and the conflict, the tension in the meeting that, so yes, it is quantifiable. And I think I can definitely show you some actual numbers behind that. But yeah, I don't know if that resonates anything for you, just the time lost to digging through these spreadsheets is what comes up for me from what you just showed me.
But I also think we in our offer, I don't want to be salesy, but our actually offer we have here, we have some great value at a very, very, because as you say, Steve, the money does play a role, but yes, it's a time first. But I think we have an offer here that can prove to organizations why this matters at $600. You get yes. Actually proof, and you get validation in the team at a, I would say, a symbolic amount. We really set the price at a symbolic level just to get you in on this, and then you can start. Then maybe the alignment already began, so you can start discussing. Oh, should we go more into AI, for instance, or other tooling that can help us grow? Yeah. So
yes, absolutely.
Great question. Yeah.
Kira, should we share the page with the offers to walk through how it works just briefly, or
yes, absolutely, yes, because I think yes, if you pull that up, then
I will absolutely.
I'll get you on. Yeah, yes. And just to say, we are all artists. That's why I was happy to connect with you all, because we know the power of this, and it's like once you realize it and experience it for yourself, you do too. But we're just eager for people to experience what happens, right? When you can get your team aligned, when you don't have to walk on eggshells, when you can decide, oh, well, we're actually a very, I'm riffing, but we're a climate conscious organization. So we're not going to use AI to generate video, for example, but we're going to use it to analyze our data with Artilize. So like you can have those very specific questions or those conversations, get on the same page, move forward, and not, be using ChatGPT in secret and scared your boss is going to find out. Like there's all these things. So anyway, yes, this is what we've come together to decide we can offer right now.
Yes, exactly. So this is going to be only available for the time of the webinar. So because as you can see, it's very cheap. It's like a one-off. So you can, and we wanted to also offer you the flexibility you deserve. So of course, if you feel your team needs to align first, you can also take the Art and Soul offer first. And just that, or if you feel like you have already alignment but you want to move forward with AI, then you have Artilize. Or you can have the bundle if you want to move forward in both areas at this exceptional price of $600. So what you get is this. So from Art and Soul, you get your team aligned on AI, surface everyone's truth, early truth playbook, and 75-minute leader alignment session. From Artilize, we offer you an event health check report package, which consists of 15-minute discovery call to understand your goals for your next upcoming event, an AI-powered diagnostic report with hidden audiences inside and outside your communities, and some very evident newcomers barriers that you can get out of the way immediately. And a 60-minute implementation workshop so that you can use this knowledge for your next event, but also in the future. It's really a methodology. And then, of course, ready to deploy templates or everything, everything that we mentioned for only $600. And you can, of course, so you need to, I would say, to make this choice immediately through the QR code that you can see on the screen to benefit from this incredible offer. Otherwise, this is what's going to happen. So on the webinar, actually, it's not even the day, it's actually the webinar session. So it's to be very, very clear. Then we have the next 72 hours, we're going to have a little increase in price, as you can see. And then this is also it's a bit of a ladder, obviously. And then everything goes back to the original price that you can see here. $2,350 for Art and Soul, $3,000 for Artilize, and the bundle would then amount to more than $5,000. So you see, this is really, really a great opportunity for stuff that we believe it's super valuable for you guys. And you will see, you will find this exact information at the page linked to the QR code. So you can know everything, and you can also have some, you will find the link to pay. I think, Kira, this is interesting, why the bundle changes a little bit the equation, because data without alignment sits in a report. We have all seen that. But yes, alignment without data is guesswork, literally, right? So together they really compound, and they give that boost to your arts organization. And let's also say it frankly, it becomes a little bit, it's not to pressure anybody, but it's the truth of what is happening out there.
Yes.
The performing arts sector is always a little bit behind in terms of technology, because we're so focused, obviously, on so many things, and we're a nonprofit. So there are absolutely all the reasons. But now the technology has advanced so much, and also the alignment psychological approach, and especially as Kira was saying, we come from the industry, so we know exactly what you're going through, and we wanted to make it easier simply for you to move forward and bring more people into those seats. It is also for the health of the sector itself.
Yes,
really try to bring those numbers up, right? Because we all need that. It's not just a monetary or technical, it's really a mission, a moral mission that we have towards society of the entire planet. That's how we see it in this session, right? Because Kira, that is also why we connected, because we immediately aligned on that.
I think, yes, it's all connected, and it is all that's where when I met you and we developed Solon System, I'm like, I think it's all related. We need the arts and creative sectors right now more than ever. Like, we need to survive. In order to survive, we need to understand the changing world. And I'll say, you know, what has concerned me being in a learning circle for 10 months, and just seeing the pace of what is available through AI, you know, and if I didn't have the ability to sit with trusted colleagues and discuss, like, does this feels right to me? This feels wrong to me. What are my values here? What can we play with? You know, Ari is here in the background, but she and I work constantly on what does Art and Soul agree to use and not use? What have we learned about AI, you know, this week or this month? What are we willing to, you know, maybe I'll try a little bit of this, she tries a little bit of that, we come together, we learn, we grow, we iterate. So, you know, it's all of that. We need to be aware. Even if we decide we're not going to use AI, we're gonna completely not use it, you still need to get aligned, and you need to know, because otherwise, guess what? I see it everywhere. You're gonna have your marketing associate secretly using ChatGPT and you're not going to know about it, and then what's happening underneath there, right? Or you know, you need to be aligned regardless, and you need to, and this is just me talking now to my community I love, we need to learn and we need to know. We can't just go either or and say, I hate it, I love it. We have to dig in and learn, because it is vital to the survival of our industry right now.
Totally, Kira, and I want to thank you for saying this, because also I also would like to answer a specific question for the Artalize tool.
Oh, yeah.
But before that, I just want to link to what you just said. One important question that we get a lot is like, oh, but we sort of know AI, but exactly, because maybe people have gone on ChatGPT, have tried it, but what is the difference with that and Artalize? Artalize AI is an AI with a PhD in performing arts. We have spent a lot of time, Yen, a lot of conversation, a lot of work in training it specifically for the needs and the purposes and the goals of arts organization. And when I can see a question in the comment is, can the Artalize tools offer that are offered here can be used with any version of data, sloppy or bad CRM? So the beauty of this package precisely is that it doesn't necessarily need your data, because what we can already compile an event health check report with what we've got. Meaning that Artalize consists of a proprietary database, actually the largest in the industry, about the whole performing arts globally. And then also we have, you know, other internal resources that we can expand if somebody is interested. But we have it's really the hub where everything in terms of knowledge regarding the performing arts, updated insights. I will quickly also mention briefly the research we conducted and just finished with Opera America. So we're really at the forefront of best practices here. And so we can either run the event health check package without your own data, or even with your data. And it doesn't matter if it's sloppy. We will help you all the way through, figure it out. And our experience is that even a lot of people say from arts organization, oh, we're not confident with our data, we don't think. But actually, we always find more than people believe. So give it a try, I would say, especially now with this great offer. And you won't be disappointed. Everybody, I mean, we have great testimonials about these event health check, that especially because it's so usable. So you get the overview, but also the insights that you can implement right away.
That's right. Yeah, that's really great. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I would love, if there are any other questions there, but really it is, we know firsthand that having the conversation, getting aligned, feeling confident that you can lead this conversation, and that it won't spiral and devolve, right? And then harnessing these tools with confidence, making the decisions based on what your team and organization values. Like, we can do so many things at the same time. We can create healthier environments that are more sustainable for artists and creative professionals, and we can get new audiences and take advantage of that hidden revenue, right? So it's not one or the other, which is I think that's probably misconception number one I hear, is like, well, we can't focus on the culture right now. We're just trying to keep the lights on. I hear that all the time. It's
Absolutely.
both.
Culture keeps the lights on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Culture actually keeps the lights on. Yeah,
right?
well,
Literally.
that's obvious.
Pretty
Yes.
much. So
Yes.
absolutely. So I was just personally say that I'm so proud that we had this conversation. I think that was really needed, and we probably just scratched the surface of it, but it's very good to start the conversation, and hope all the teams here and also they will, share the word about this that is happening right now as a community also mission. And I hope a lot of you guys will take advantage of this incredible offer, because it's really one of a kind.
Yes.
So we really try to make it accessible for everybody. It's a no-brainer. It's completely value-based. And at least you can get a sense of where you stand and what you can improve immediately. So it's proven stuff. Kira has been doing this and experiencing the release of the alignment so many times. We have experienced the release of knowing finally what to do for that specific situation and context, and how to optimize, everything, is particularly ticket sales. So I think it's a great opportunity. I hope you will take it, and we'll keep in touch, of course.
Yes.
Probably let us know what you thought. How you found this, because we would like to keep going, right, Kira, with this.
Yes, there's so much to talk about. I know we're like, hopefully people are enjoying conversations like this. We're just scratching the surface here. So yes, we're really eager for your feedback, for your questions, for what more we can answer and talk about. We're hoping that you'll start to see for yourself that there is light. There is a way. But I think we've got a very bright idea here to combine these things.
Yes.
And I'm eager to see how it works when folks do both at the same time.
Fantastic. So should we wrap this up? I know people also are busy, right? We try to catch them in their working days, but thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Spread the word, keep in touch, ask questions, don't hold back. We have created this as a sandbox for both right, alignment and AI for the performing arts. So whatever question you have, we will love to answer. We're super passionate about what we do, all in this room, everybody here in this room. So don't hold back. We want to hear from you. And to the next time, I would say, right, Kira?
Yes,
Paola.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ariel.
Thank you,
yes,
Ariel.
thank you.
Yes,
Awesome
bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.